Welcome everybody on my lecture that is about the societal aspects of 3D printing. My name is Marianna Zichar and I am from the University of Debrecen, Hungary. I hope that you will enjoy this presentation. During the lecture, you can learn about the following things. First, we will see what are the most known knowledge about 3D printing. Then we will discuss how the environment protection can benefit from 3D printing. Then we can investigate the same in the field of healthcare industry and healing. Then some interesting hot topic will be discussed. And finally, I would like to give you an insight into the vision for the future in the field of 3D printing. At the beginning, just for the sake of safety, I would like to discuss the most important characteristics of 3D printing that have great impact on why and how we use this innovative technology. First of all, I have to mention that 3D printing is a representative of the so-called additive manufacturing. Additive manufacturing means that we are building the objects from the printing material from the scratch. As you can see here in this first figure, the object is built upon layer by layer. This means that we construct something and we would like to eliminate the amount of waste. In contrary, subtractive technologies remove the unnecessary amount of the material, producing much waste. A layer finally can be considered as a horizontal cross-section of the object which is parallel to the building plate. This video shows how the different layers are deposited on top of each other. You can see here the printing head moving in a plane which is horizontal, which is parallel to the building plate. And when the printing process completed, the object can be removed. The exact way how a 3D printer works can be different. Depending on the manufacturing technologies, the printing materials vary as well. The most popular technology is the fused deposition modeling that uses filaments such as PLA, ABS, nylon, PET, or even ceramic. There are liquid material too, for example, photosensitive resin, chocolate, clay, or some 3D printer works with powder such as titanium, stainless steel, aluminium, or gypsum. According to the manufacturing technology and the printing material, the accuracy of the printed object varies as well. This influences where and how the printed objects. But what makes 3D printing so attractive? Let's see only 3 reasons. The first one is that it can provide personalized solutions for problems. Sometimes we do not need mass production, but it is very important that the 3D printed object has to match another object precisely, very precisely. Like this metal implant matches the broken skull. Another key property of 3D printing is that complex structures can be 3D printed in one piece. This is very important because you can save, for example, time, because you don't have to assemble the complex structure after the printing process, and you can also save material. And if you save material, it means that the printed part will be lighter, which could have additional consequences as well. The expression print in place refers to the exclusive property of 3D printing that moving parts, joint, hinges can be 3D printed in one piece. After removing the objects from the building plate, it moves, bends immediately. No other technology has this unique property. After this short introduction, I would like to present you how 3DP can be used in environment protection. I'm sure that all of you have already heard about the coral reefs and that in some places they are damaged, which threatens the life in the ocean, and this has impact on humans too. Well, an Australian company had an idea to replace the damaged coral reefs with 3D printed ones. The only question is, what kind of printing materials should be used? They saw that the material should be matched to the ecosystem of the original location as much as possible. So local mined sand was used, which is more sustainable solution than using concrete. At the same time, this solution has a lower carbon footprint. The well-known General Electric has a research laboratory called GE Additive, and the company spent a fortune to explore how 3DP could be used in building more economical jet engines. They could design a new engine that could dramatically reduce fuel consumption as well as emissions. A key to the breakthrough was the wildly complex interior of the engine's fuel nozzles, which tips interior geometry was too complex to produce it with the traditional manufacturing. But with the help of 3D printing, 20 parts could be combined into one single unit, resulting in a weight loss of 25% and in a 5 times longer lifetime. In this slide, the top figure shows the exterior of a 3D printed house, like the bottom one is the interior. In 2016, Dubai announced its 3D printing strategy, which aims to 3D print 25% of the city's buildings by 2030. As a first step, an office building was created called Office of the Future. The 3D printed frame of the building is a special mixture of cement and a specialty building material which was produced in the United Arab Emirates and United States. According to the government of Dubai Media Office, this material has passed a variety of tests in China and the United Kingdom to confirm its reliability. The total area of the building is 250 square meters. The building was printed off-site for only 17 days, then brought to its final location, where it was assembled in only 2 days. Only one staff member was required to control the printer, 7 people installed the individual office components on site, and 10 electricians and specialists oversaw the engineering as the building was erected. At the construction site, mobile 3D printers were implemented to finalize the building's assembly. According to the government of Dubai, labor costs were reduced by more than 50% compared to traditional construction techniques. You can find other 3D printed buildings all over the world, so not only Dubai, the only country who has 3D printing house. Waste handling is a very important question in the 21st century. A very simple and wise way in this field to reduce the amount of waste. 3D printed parts can prolong the lifetime of hundreds of devices and reduce the amount of thrown away stuffs. For example, Whirlpool, the American manufacturer of home appliances, will collaborate with Spare Parts 3D for the production of spare parts. You can see here some 3D printed spare parts which can be purchased by the people. Another idea is using biodegradable printing materials such as PLA or some other types. For example, if you have a closer look at on this building, it is a very interesting building because this house was printed using a natural mud mixture made from soil taken from the surrounding site, as well as waste materials from the rice production, such as chopped straw and rice husk. The mixture is layered using a large 3D printer suspended from a crane, creating walls with vertical cavities inside, which are then filled with the rice husk for insulation. The bottom picture represents a machine that can produce filament from PET bottles and PLA waste, which is a great example how to recycle the waste. Also, we could find more examples in the field of environment protection. Now I would like to change the topic and to show some examples from the field of healthcare industry, because it's trivial that we would like to have a long and healthy life, but sometimes we need some medical treatment. So let's see what 3D printing can be used in this field. Well, in the field of dentistry, tooth aligners can be 3D printed from a very special material. The whole process can be digital, starting from making the sampling, which can be done with an intraoral scanner, then generating the 3D digital model. Finally, based upon the model, a printer produces the aligner. The process will be faster and more accurate. It will be more comfortable for the patient to wear it. Tooth aligning becomes available people, for example, who are sensitive or allergic to metal components. Tooth implants also can be 3D printed from very specific material. Good points of applying digital technologies here are quite similar, namely faster delivery times you will have, the fitting will be much more accurate, reproducibility is also a good point, and it will be a greater comfort for the patient. After an age, some people suffer from their used joint. 3D printed implants can be a solution, although currently it is rather expensive. Typically, knee and hip implants are made that match every aspect of your joint. Due to the higher accuracy, recovering takes less time. I would like to introduce you Dennis Schindler, who is a German paracyclist. A team of design and 3D specialists from Autodesk developed a new prosthesis for the Paralympics, which was organized in Rio de Janeiro. Normally, she competes with a handmade carbon fiber prosthesis, which manufacturing takes approximately 10 days, and it is rather costly. For these Paralympics, she decided to get a new prosthesis, but now she decided to follow a new way. She asked some help from big companies like Autodesk, and after 3D scanning her limb, digital technology was used to create the prosthesis. The model was created in Fusion 360. The reducing process of the weight was carried in Autodesk within, and finally the designed prosthesis was 3D printed. And concerning the result, the whole process took only 5 days, and the cost was only a quarter. E-NABLE is an international project. Behind the project, there is an enormous group of volunteers who have 3D printed prosthetic hands and arms for children and adults in need all over the world. We can use the good point of 3D printing because artificial limbs can be easily customized, and the children can be involved into the design process. For example, they can select the color, the ornaments, and these small things can increase their engagement. So they will accommodate the artificial limbs easier. These affordable solutions also makes it possible to print a new prosthesis for them maybe every year when the previous one has already been outgrown. I think that this is a very nice example for the social responsibility of 3DP owners. Although digital literacy is spreading intensively, children have to be taught the techniques of handwriting and drawing. Usage of pencils and pens requires very precise movements and can be difficult to accomplish when facing challenges involving the central nervous system. This has motivated a group of European designers to band together and to develop a series of unique writing tools designed to aid children with disabilities. The name is Glypho, and Glypho tools are not only designed for the particular needs of children facing difficulties in using pens or pencils, but each tool can be tailor-made for a specific child thanks to the fact that 3D printed parts can be easily manufactured individually. C3D is a project operated by volunteers and that organizes the printing and distribution of 3D printing models for blind people. Through touch, people who are blind can have a better understanding of what an object looks like. Not only blind or visually impaired people can benefit from this project, but anyone, because handling a tactile model can support discovering aspects that may not have been noticeable in a picture or with verbal description. The most popular models usually clients ask: maps, buildings, snowflakes, different molecules, animals, and automobiles. Their mission is to build a bridge between blind and sighted people through 3D printing and spreading awareness on the importance of accessible materials, including Braille. This last one is the reason why including Braille labels and description on the models are rather frequently. Basically, anyone can make a request for himself or for a person who is blind or has a visual impairment. C3D is ready to connect the requester to people who have a 3D printer and can create the model and send it by post to the recipient. 3D printing has great potential in many fields of human living, including small but rather practical tools as well. A trivial, simply daily movement or activity that is normal for most of the people sometimes is a real challenge for people with disabilities. 3D printing has also solved many accessibility challenges and can drastically bring down the cost to make them. The following figures represent some 3D printed practical devices that are already available. You can see here ring pull can opener, 3D printed zippers to be attached to a smaller zipper tab, portable step ramp for going to inaccessible venues, and a wheelchair cup holder with customizable ball socket joint. In this situation, the availability means that the model can be downloaded for free from an online resource as well, such as thingiverse.com or myminifactory.com, and 3D printed directly. Do you believe or not? Food can be 3D printed as well. It can be a solution for issues such as children with nutrition problems or people with different allergies, or for elderly people who have special needs. For example, the amount of vitamins, minerals have to be meet a special requirement, or when they have to follow special diet. The benefits of 3D printed food can be, for example, a solution for citizens suffering due to hunger and malnourishment. It also provides the possibility to include new ingredients as a nutritional sources into the food. It can reduce the cost of transportation and also can be a solution to eliminate the food waste. The Italian pasta company Barilla uses 3D printer for manufacturing special shaped pasta. Can you guess what can be the hot topic? Yes, the pandemic, which caused lots of troubles for our project too. Why has 3D printing any role in the pandemic? Well, it can give a quick response for issues. This manufacturing is ideal for rapid prototyping, and serious private companies, individuals have a number of 3D printers that can be used in manufacturing several products such as face masks, face shields, respiratory valves for breathing machines, hands-free door openers, or even swabs, which are used to make the testing. If you can download the design of these objects, then you can use your own printer to help the health protection. NanoHack, this is the name of the mask the lady is wearing in the last picture. This mask is a device with the purpose of offering protection from airborne particles and prevent spreading the liquid contaminating the airways. The mask uses a recyclable and biocompatible polymer containing a copper nanocomposite that has shown antimicrobial properties. It is recyclable and cleanable, so it has many good properties, and the design is open source, so you can just download and type to print. Of course, it needs very special material. The assembling takes only 10 minutes and the printing process lasts for about 3 hours. In reaction to the acute shortage of protective gear for medical personnel in the pandemic situation, Prussia Research in Prague has quickly developed and started to mass-produce protective face shields. They have printed and donated almost 200,000 shields to medics and other professionals in the Czech Republic. The design is open source, so many civils in Europe printed shields for their countries. It took only 3 days to design the shield and start the mass production. This video shows how to assemble the face shields. This slide shows a hands-free door opener. The printing time is only 3 hours, and as you can see on the figure, it consists of 2 main parts which should be printed mainly from ABS or sometimes from PLA. Then you need a small piece of rubber and 4 screws to fix it on the door handle. The designer is a Belgian 3D printing company called Materie. The design files are free, so you can just download it from their website and to print it in a 3D printer. They have created the design matching to different types of door handles, so probably you have a great chance that you can find the one which will match your type of door handle. Now we can see how it works in the reality. So this video shows that your arm lower arm can be used when you would like to open the door. A hospital in Italy with 250 coronavirus patients requiring breathing machines has run out of the respiratory valves needed to connect the patients to the machines. The original supplier was unable to meet the sudden high demand, and the hospital quickly found itself in a crisis. Quick response to the situation has arrived from an engineering firm who used 3D printing to meet the hospital's demand, and resultantly, patients' lives were saved. Swabs are needed to collect samples for the virus testing. A great amount of steps have been already used since the beginning of the pandemic outbreak. This is yet another medical device that is low in stock in many places around the world. Therefore, 3D printing companies are developing 3D printed swabs that can be quickly manufactured and sent to places that are out of stock. Of course, the certification of any medical device or piece of equipment is essential to ensure it can be used safely. And finally, let's see what can be expected in the field of 3D printing in the future. What are the visions for the next decades? Everybody hopes that the speed of 3D printing will decrease. Unfortunately, low printing speed is one of the reasons why 3D printing cannot be applied for mass production. We also would like to welcome new printing materials, for example, new biodegradable printing materials or some materials which could make it possible to print blood vessels, bones, living cells, or even human organs. This last one would be very, very important for transplantation. The research works have been already started. There are some results as well, but we still have to wait to be able to print really human organs which are suitable for transplantation. Thank you for your attention. I really hope that you enjoyed this video.